Welcome to Media Buying TV. I'm Neil Bell, and today we're going to talk about cost indexing and target indexing in media planning and how increased target richness of your ad delivery equals increased sales. We're going to use a real-world example here, an HVAC dealer, or heating, ventilation, and cooling. There he is. And to keep the scope of this example manageable, we're just going to look at radio planning, but these concepts can be applied to all types of media. And our target demo is women 35 plus. So using that target demo, we can do some cost indexing. All a cost index is a method for comparing the relative cost efficiencies of all media tactics that you're considering. Best practices are to include as many options as possible. We want lots of competition for your ad dollar, and to build somewhat consistent template schedules so that you have a fair comparison of your options. So what we see here is sort of a summary of the weekly template delivery of 11 different radio stations. And on the far end here we have the cost index, which is calculated very simply by comparing each individual station's average cost per point for women 35 plus with the average cost per point of all the stations under consideration. You multiply that by 100 and you get your cost index. If the only thing that mattered to us were cost per point efficiency, this table would be a ranking of the best to the worst. But we know that cost per point efficiency is not the only factor in planning, and target richness matters too. So, not all women 35 plus are equally valuable to this HVAC dealer. This dealer knows his customer well, and he knows that his customer tends to be married. They typically have income of $65,000 or greater per year, and they are homeowners. They own their residence. So how do we find this? We use resources like Scarborough or Media Audit to calculate these index scores based on these types of factors. And here it is. The way target indexing works is 100 means it's average. 200 would mean that media outlet is twice as likely to have your target customer than the market at large. So here are a couple concrete examples. WAAA with its 143 target index score is 43% more likely to have our target in their audience. And unfortunately, WDDD is 30% less likely to have our target in its audience with a score of 70. So what we see here is that if we're only focused on cost per point, that yields one ranking of stations in terms of best value. And if our only focus is on target richness, we get a different ranking. And the question is, how can we merge these two concepts? And the answer is pretty simple. We subtract the cost index from the target index to measure that spread. So, there's two ways to get a positive value here. Either be really target rich or be really cost efficient by having low rates, or some combination of those two things. So we see here there are 5 stations that offer a positive value when subtracting cost index from target index. And that means it's some combination of low cost and target rich. So those are the stations that we would focus on as we were planning for this HVAC dealer. If you take nothing else away from today, please know that comparing cost and target indexes can help increase your batting average, resulting in increased sales. If you'd like to talk about how to apply these concepts to your specific situation, just leave a comment here on YouTube or shoot us an email and we'd be glad to talk to you. That wraps up this episode of Media Buying TV. I'm Neil Bell, and this is a production of White Rock Media.